What's up, everyone? Alan Thrall here at Untamed Strength. Got a very special guest. He really doesn't need much of an introduction. Omar's here in the house. We're gonna be doing Q&A today. If you came from his channel, welcome to the part 2 of the Q&A series. If you are my subscriber, you haven't heard of Omar, go check out his channel for the part 1 of this Q&A. So very informal. We're gonna be answering your questions from Instagram, maybe some from Facebook. So here we go. You got anything, Omar?
No, man, let's get started.
All right.
Oh, dude, hook grip, better than mixed for optimal deadlift. Alan, I noticed, bro, you're part of that hook grip life.
Yeah, you bet.
You, like your best deadlift, you hook grip, right?
Yeah, I hook grip with every deadlift I do.
Yeah.
And the reason is, just my experience, some people will argue it, but I used to mix grip.
Yep.
And I've noticed that I was having a huge imbalance in my traps and my upper back development. Yep. It was so bad that I could see it in the mirror. And I noticed that when I was bench pressing, I was so off balance. And I was like, dude, I need to do something about this. And I thought, you know, I don't know if it's true, but I thought that maybe my underhand grip was reaching down further, or I was somehow twisted. So I said, forget this, I'm gonna go hook grip. It sucked at first, but I got used to it. And the problem went away. So I don't know if that was a problem, but in my experience, going to the hook grip evened my upper back development out in my trap. So
man, I completely agree with you. When I was looking back at my old deadlift footage, like there's footage of me when I was doing like 565 and even on 585, where the underhand, when I was pulling, it would twist. And I think that contributed to some of that SI stuff potentially that I was dealing with, where constantly I was being rotated a bit. Since I switched to hook grip, that hook grip life feels a lot better. Yeah. Don't have those issues. The only thing that you have to deal with, quite honestly, is the feeling of being numb on the inside from your thumbs, like going dead.
Yeah.
But like once you get past that point, like since doing weightlifting, you got to hook grip everything. You get used to it. It becomes all right.
Yeah, it's not bad anymore.
Yeah.
Very briefly, I'm gonna let you take this one first. Shoot. How to get rid of butt wink?
Oh man. Well, one, there's a genetic component to it. When we look at the anatomy of individuals. The other one, people will always try and pinpoint one specific area where they'll be like, oh, like, you know, it's this that causes it, it's that that causes it. A lot of it actually comes down to technique and control when it comes to the body. You can do like the Thomas test to try and evaluate like your hip flexor tightness to see what's going on there. You can also do the thing where you lie prone and then you rock back to see like maybe if it has something to do with another area of your body, maybe somewhere in the back. But one thing I will definitely say is that squatting position greatly influences the level of butt wink. When you look at individuals that have poor like external rotation, that was a big thing I was looking at for a long time for like low bar squats. And they get into this position here where they have to, instead of being able to rotate back with their shoulder, what they do, they'll extend with their spine, and because they hyperextend, it makes it far easier to do that butt wink. So by starting with the neutral pelvis, by making sure you work on your overall mobility, maybe perhaps hip flexors, I find simple things, honestly, like holding a plank, just to work on the passive structure of your hip flexors and whatnot, really help. And then working on that control and technique are some of the biggest factors. And even after you do that, some individuals from a biomechanical perspective will still have a little bit of butt wink.
Right, exactly. I think you hit the nail on the head. A lot of people will hyperextend, like you said, and really, when you hit the bottom, your lumbar spine is just adjusting back to neutral.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's a huge problem, but it does become a problem once you reach spinal flexion and you're actually rounding over.
Yeah.
But I made a video about this real quick. Usually breathing or bracing is a big part of it too. If you're really lax in your midsection and you squat with a pretty narrow stance and you're squatting down and your stomach hits your thighs, your thighs force your stomach in, force that rounding. You're not properly breathing in your stomach. You're not increasing the diameter of your midsection, and you're not bracing your stomach against your thighs. So breathing and bracing could be a part of it too.
Alan, what are your biggest and best tips for increasing the bench press? I've struggled for a long time on the bench press.
Your bench press is better than mine, I bet.
What's your best bench?
Over 300, just a little over 300.
Yeah. Yeah.
At your body weight, it's much better. Okay. But squats and the deadlifts, I know a lot of people are following like a 3x5, 5x5 template, strong lifts or something beginner. And you can progress very far with the squat and the deadlift with lower reps, heavier weight, because there are more muscles at work. But you really do need volume for your upper body. It comes down to, I'm right in this boat, but a lot of people are like, my bench sucks, it's stalled. You have no upper body mass. You need to start building some upper body mass, some pressing, build up your pressing muscles. So anyways, that's my experience. More volume.
No, man, I agree. Like I don't have a phenomenal bench press. I train at a gym where like there's some freaks. I just have like 350 at around like 182 or something like that. Touch and go also. It was not paused, but what I did find, or what I have observed, is that oftentimes like bros versus IPF powerlifters at the same body weight will outbench them just because they've accumulated a lot of volume over time. Benching, right? They're bench bros, so they bench 3 times a week. They get a whole lot of volume in rather than a hyper-specific program that has like perhaps lower rep ranges, lower overall volume. Volume is a key driver for hypertrophy. When you look at the correlation too of, I think Greg did that, Greg Knuckles, for bench press, like total mass to the amount of weight you can lift, they are definitely correlated, like a strong correlation. So the more overall mass that you add, and then pushing that volume over time. My bench press stalled for a long time when I was doing 1 time per week. I think it was like 275. Then once I upped it to 2 times and 3 times per week, I only gained like maybe 5 pounds. But in the span of a year and change, it went from like 275, maybe 18 months, 275 to I think 325. And that was just, and again, body weight went from 175 to maybe 180. I just up in that frequency.
Right. What is your opinion of starting strength program? Now we'll just stick with that. What is your opinion of starting strength program, Omar?
Yeah, like if you're a beginner, I think it's a good basic template. You can't go wrong for an individual sticking to the fundamental compound movements and trying to practice them a whole lot. You gotta get your 5s, as he says in 3
hip drive and 5.
Hip drives and 5, 3 by 5. So I think it's a good starting base. I think definitely after a certain point you gotta hop off of it, however. But if you just start lifting and you're looking for a program and you choose that, I think it's solid.
Yeah, absolutely. You're practicing the lifts. You're doing a controlled number of reps and sets. So you're really just learning the lifts. You're doing it frequently because your volume and your weight, your tonnage is so low as a beginner. You can do it. You can squat 3 times a week, deadlift, once a week, I guess, press multiple times a week. So you're just learning the lifts, teaching your nervous system how to perform the movements.
Yep. Okay, Alan, now when it comes to the overhead press, trying to increase pressing strength, do you have favorite exercise choices that you go to? You do strongman training, right? And so you're pressing or lifting things over your head on a continuous basis. Right. Do you have like a go-to, like you were talking about later today when we train, like maybe doing a Z press or something like that? What are your go-to? Like you have to do a lot of pressing in strongman. So what are your go-to? What are your staples?
Nothing will ever replace a barbell. A lot of guys ask me with bench and overhead, should I be doing barbell or should I be doing dumbbell? You can handle a lot more weight on a barbell than you can with dumbbells. So if you have to lift heavy weight in order to get better at lifting heavy weight. Yeah. So definitely nothing is going to replace a standing barbell press. But again, like I talked about earlier, volume with the movements. But yeah, there are some other things that could help, like a Z press, or if you have the mobility, behind the neck press. Yeah. But all that is doing is just you're making the movement really strict. You're not allowing yourself any lean back with the Z press or the behind the neck press. Yep. But nothing should ever replace a barbell. And if you want to, everyone wants to add some variation. I'm plateauing, I need to change it up. You don't necessarily have to get away from the barbell. Change up the sets, change up the reps, change up the weight. So there's a lot of stuff you can do to increase your overhead.
Yeah, and I think also being straight up, like the overhead is the hardest lift for me to increase. It's just a function of time. Like your squat, like you practice a whole lot. There's just more total pounds that you can lift. Right. The overhead press that reaches a point where like progress will slow down. And if you increase your overhead press by 10 pounds in a year, that's a huge victory.
Right. Yep. Okay, have either of you lost the drive to train to the point where you basically want to quit? If so, what'd you do?
I gotta be honest, absolutely not. Just because, Alan, like being straight up, dude, I love to lift. Like that feeling, like, so yesterday, Alan put me through a strongman workout, and we did that California death medley, strongest man death medley, and it was amazing. Like, it sucked when I did it, but that feeling of exhilaration that you get, the vitality that you feel, the like adrenaline rush that you get, nothing replaces it. And I just feel that I'm better balanced when I do lift. And so I think maybe, I don't know what's going on with the dude, it's all about the reasons why you lift. So we all start kind of for maybe vanity or like other goals, like whatever, right? Like you want to look good, you want to like impress like other people, like you want to impress like girls, cool. But like once you start to get, I think, and that's why I think strength is really sustainable, once you get into lifting for yourself, to try and better yourself, lift more weight, and show your body and yourself what you really can do, then it becomes addicting. And you just see that balance that you have in your life. So for me, it's part of what I do, 5 or 6 times a week. And so it's unthinkable for me at this point that I would just stop lifting and lose the motivation.
Right. Yeah, I think the biggest thing that people have to realize, and that I stress to a lot of people, myself included, you've got to love the process. It's an adventure. Yeah. You got to go for the ride. Stop worrying so much about what he's doing, what she's doing. I want to squat 500 pounds, but I can only squat 135 right now. It's all a process, and you got to love it. You got to love progress, and you really just got to fall in love with the process. Stop worrying so much about the end goal. It's good to have something in sight, but take it one day at a time. Really be in the moment, and you got to love it. Honestly, if someone doesn't love to train, that's that. They're not gonna. There's not much you can
can't
do
convince them.
Yeah. So you gotta love what you're doing.
And I think just a small side, I will say like roadblocks do happen. For me, like I had a little bit of that SI thing where I yelled a little bit too much when it came to the squats. Try to come back too soon, just re-aggravated. Actually, you left some really positive words on that video when I made that I'm kind of broken when you said it's just a small road bump. Yeah. You got to keep that in mind. Like things will happen. Like training might not go well. You might have like big goals that you'll have, and like you get those roadblocks along the way. So maybe if that's what you're dealing with, where you're feeling like frustrated, like maybe you're not achieving your goals as fast as you want, or other people are achieving them faster, you just got to keep in mind, as Alan said, it's a process.
Yeah, and I'm gonna even go even further with this. Go deeper. Any experience, good or bad, you can learn from it. So you're never ever going to get somewhere if you're doing something for long enough without failing. It's owning a business, you've got to be willing to fail, learn from it, get better. With training, sometimes injuries, open your eyes, damn, I wasn't doing this, I wasn't doing that, I need to stop doing this. You get better, you get stronger. Anyone who's ever achieved anything has all kinds of speed bumps that they hit along the way. So learn from it, get back to it, and that's what strength's all about.
Someone wants to know, can they join our band?
We're looking for, currently looking for groupies.
Yeah, so groupies would be nice.
You can earn your spot, I guess.
We're co-vocalists and co-lead guitarists.
Right.
Actually, of the band. Naturally, we trade off leads.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, they don't. They maybe. So
he deals with all the marketing because I'm not very good with that.
so maybe we should tell them we have a band.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Iron Disciples.
Yep.
Coming out 2016 with our lead single, "Untamed My Heart." Yeah, it's gonna be great.
Can't wait.
Yeah. Watch out, Justin Bieber. You guys look like vampires in that photo. I just want to read that out loud.
All right, so this is appropriate because we were talking about it earlier. Someone says, what do you guys think of the new Elliott Hulse? I know both of you know him.
I'll honestly say I haven't been watching too much of his content. I know in the past, like when I went down, he's putting out a lot of informative videos, handling a variety of topics. I think now he's just in a different direction than where he was before. And maybe honestly, as content creators, with time it becomes hard. Like how many videos does he have? Like probably over 1,000, like 1,500.
Yeah.
Right. Like just think about that. Making that many videos, you kind of have to change it up.
Yeah, he's done it all.
Yeah. So I think that perhaps is the change in his content.
Right. If you guys, I've only met him at a Yo Elliott seminar. It was in New York. I think it was his first seminar. He actually trained with him for a week, right?
Yep. In Florida.
So, but I was I still am, but a huge Elliott Hulse fan. I'd watch every one of his videos. And if you guys have been following Elliott, this is classic Elliott Hulse. He's like totally preaches. Do what's in your heart, what's in your gut. Don't worry about him or her. Don't get connected to anything. Don't be attached to any idea or someone might think you're this way. Don't let anything control you. No strings attached kind of thing. And I guess this is just Elliott right now. He's following that. A lot of people are giving him a lot of crap for it.
Yeah.
He doesn't care. This is Elliott. This is what's coming out of him. So he's just gonna produce whatever he wants. So regardless of what everyone thinks. So.
And something you have to respect about him, as you just said, he basically does what he wants.
Right.
He knows the game just like everyone that participates in it knows. Like when it comes to like YouTube and whatnot, you could put out, or like fitness or like content, you could put out more lucrative content, right? That would get more eyeballs and whatnot. And he's kind of like, fuck that, I'm going to do my own thing. So at the very least, even if you don't like his current content, you have to respect the fact that he's following what he feels is right.
Right. Absolutely. All right, guys. So there you go. Thank you very much for the questions. Thank you very much to Omar for being here. Again, if you haven't seen part 1, go check it out on his channel. I'll include a link to the channel down in the description area. You got anything to say before I close it out?
Dude, it's been a blast training here. I'm excited to train tonight. I'm also excited for the. I think we put out the best video maybe ever. Most informative.
Yeah.
It's coming. It's coming out right.
Absolutely.
And we have a program too that should be cool.
Yeah, it's gonna be great.
Yeah,
it's gonna be free too.
Yeah, it's gonna be free.
Yeah.
Free is the best price.
Yeah.
So I'm really looking forward to that. I'm just glad that we made this happen, dude.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Good having you.
All right, man. Thank you very much.
All right, guys. Until next time, always remember, tread on time.